back. We're here with Betty and Steve, who just followed our psychic investigation, and Betty is still a true believer, much to her husband's dismay. I want to bring in Sarah Lassay, who says she was so dependent on her psychic, she once called up to 10 times a day. Hey, Sarah. So you feel like you were actually addicted to psychics?
Oh, I was addicted to psychics. This is very frustrating for me because this is actually a really serious problem, and it's the only addiction that really isn't recognized, and it's hilarious. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, you know, who becomes addicted to psychics? But I couldn't get through a day without calling. At my worst, I called 10 in a day. I completely lost my mind. And I run a support group now. I have over 1,000 members and hundreds of people writing to me who are desperate because they can't afford their habit anymore. They've lost their minds, their relationships, and it's a billion-dollar industry. It's not just about scams. It's about these internet psychics, these telephone psychics.
Right, these phone psychic lines are a huge business.
Yeah, well, now it's on the internet, and it's set up like eBay. They have feedback, so you can read hundreds of feedback. This psychic's amazing. They predicted this, but they erase the bad feedback, and the whole system is so messed up.
What finally made you realize this is not real, or this is not working for me?
Well, because I hit rock bottom. Like, I was a drug addict. I mean, I looked like a drug addict. I mean, granted, I was going through a breakup, but I was calling psychics all day long about, is he coming back? Like, how...
When you say you're a drug addict, I mean, not literally, but this was your drug.
No, literally, it was like I would call a psychic, I would get a high, I'd feel better. It would last shorter and shorter amounts of time, and if I called the psychic and got good news, I'd feel good. If I called the psychic and got bad news, I'd have to call like 5 others to make it better. And nobody talks about it. And I'm not alone. I mean, there's so many people going through this, and it's so much money is being made, and it's not recognized as a serious addiction.
You actually worked at a hotline. What was it like?
It was horrible. I mean, people are calling and they're desperate, and they shouldn't be calling psychics because we're not qualified.
Right. I want to bring in also an attorney, Adam Brown. You're pursuing a civil case against an alleged psychic right now. What did she do?
Well, in my case, it's a very similar story as everybody else. She was going through a weak time in her life. She went in, got a reading. It was really, it started as a novelty. And then after a while, my client felt that she needed answers. So she went to the psychic. She kept going back. It started with putting rolls of bills into jars, sleeping with the jars, giving the jars of money to the psychic to cleanse the past, and then, oh my goodness, I forgot, now I have to cleanse your future.
So this is clearly a common theme of you know, money in envelopes and sleeping with objects and then have mysterious things inside them.
Absolutely.
How big an operation are these things?
Well, I mean, in talking to other people, we've called it organized psychic crime. I mean,
organized psychic crime.
This is a big deal. There's a network. The money is taken. The money is cashed. The money goes away. You don't see it again. And it goes into humongous networks, and it goes into assets that are in other people's names, and it's very, very difficult to recover anything for your client.
And people have multiple names, and they just disappear. I mean, one of these storefront psychics can, you know, stop paying their rent and move on to another town very easily.
Absolutely.
It's a hard case. I appreciate you being with us. Does anybody else have any other questions for... Yeah, okay.